It isn't your job to make sure that others are feeling comfortable, feeling good in their space, not suffering, and taking away their pain, or helping them in some way where you're taking it on for them. It just isn't your job. And a lot of empaths out there tend to do that. And the reason why is because when you're an empath, you can feel it or sense it at some level where it's so intense you can feel it as your own. And what happens is then it gets into your body, your feelings, and a lot of people at this point, when you're an empath, you can't even really decipher what's yours and what somebody else's. And I do have some videos, I can share links down below on how to decipher that. But my point is that it is not your job to fix other people's problems and issues to try and make them feel better. And it's really hard because when you go into spaces and you're around people where you can feel it so intensely, you can feel their struggle, you can feel their pain, you can feel their frustration or uncomfortableness or whatever that is. But the thing is, it's not yours. It's not your struggle. And when you try and step in and make it better for them and try and almost take away the pain or make them feel better, what you do is you prolong their expansion. You prolong their learning. You prolong their lessons and their growth. Because when you step in and you try and make it better or enable them to not have to deal with it on their own, then you're taking that growth away from them. And another thing that happens is when you're so focused on other people around you that you're focusing on them, you're not actually focusing on your own life and your own problems. So I get it, because when you're an empath, you feel it at a level where it seems to almost take over. And so you're so busy trying to make sure that everybody around you is good and feeling good and in a good space. And then you can start working on your own self. But the problem is you never have time to work on your own self because you're so busy and subjected to all these other people's stuff. Sound familiar? Look, I get it. I'm an empath. I've been dealing with this for years. And there was a time where I literally thought being an empath was a curse because it can feel so intense sometimes. A lot of empaths are people that care for other people. They want to fix things. They want to help people. They want to be of service to help people feel better. And I'm not saying that you should never listen to somebody that you care about or whatnot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's okay to listen to them and it's okay to hear them out and to feel it on some level. But at some point after, instead of worrying about it and trying to help think of solutions for them or trying to come up with how can I help them feel better, let it go. Give it to God. Give it up to God. And God already has a plan for them to go through all of those learnings and lessons. And you have to go through struggle in order to learn those things. And if you take it away from them, then they don't have the lesson to move forward in their life and to have expansion and to be awakened and to, get to a better part of their lives. I know it's a little bit more of a kind of hard lesson or a hard message to listen to, but really when you're trying to help people and take away their pain or their suffering, you're just prolonging their growth. And you're also prolonging your own growth, because when you're not focusing on yourself, then you're giving it to everybody else. And that's not the point of this life. We are in this human experience to expand and to grow and to, grow in awareness and to learn and to live our best life. That's what God put us on this earth for, is to, you know, be in our own best life. And if you're putting all that energy into other people, then you're not living your best life. But when you are living your best life, and when you are in your own personal journey and growth and learning from it and living a life where you feel like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at what I can do. Look at the things that I'm capable of. That is where people learn from. That kind of, you know, because setting an example and doing things when you're taking action in your own life, people pay attention to that. That's when people are like, wait a second, what's she doing? Or what's he doing? How is he so happy? And what's he or she doing that makes them so successful? And, you know, people pay attention to that. That is more expansive, and that is more, a better example for people than you trying to take on their struggles and stresses. When you take on your own, and when you learn and grow from that, you're actually setting a better example for people. I know I kind of keep repeating that, but anyway, so yeah. So that's kind of, you know, I know being an empath can be, wow, it can be very intense, especially in the beginning. It can be, there's all these huge birds here, sorry. It can be very intense when you're an empath and you're feeling all these emotions from people and you want to make it better. I get it, you know, and especially, and this might sound kind of rough, but I think a lot of times we try and fix other people's stuff because the feelings are so intense for us that we don't want to feel that. So you try and fix it because you don't want to feel their stuff, because it's impeding on your energy and your vibration. But there's ways that you can go about that and not feel it at that rate and not feel it at that level. You can send love to them. You can still tell them that you care. You can pray for them. You can give it to God and ask them for the best, you know, lesson or path for them to go on, and then let it go. I know that's really hard. And it's a learning, and you can practice this. You know, you get better at your own skills as an empath and as a human by learning things, by practicing new methods, by doing things that work best for you. And, you know, that's it. And it's crazy because it sounds selfish, right? It sounds selfish when you're, you know, well, it's their stuff. They can figure it out. They, you know, it's their learning lesson. They're just gonna have to figure. That sounds selfish, but really it's not. It's actually helping them learn their path quicker by having them experiencing it for themselves, because then they're actually going through their own growth, and you're not impeding that. You're not prolonging it. So hope this makes sense. And I'm curious if you have experience. Comment below and let me know if this is something that you've experienced for yourself. If you're constantly finding yourself trying to help others feel better, or not, you know, discomfort or hurt, and trying to take that away from them. You're not trying to take away from them, but trying to help them feel better. How much time do you find yourself spending on their issues rather than your own? And you know what? That's not why we're here. We are here to live our own best life. We are here for expansion. We are here for awakening. We are here for raising in vibration and getting closer to God, and getting, you know, finding the light within ourselves. And when you're putting energy into other people, you know, that's not self-expansion. That's causing a distraction for your own growth. That's causing a distraction from your own path. So again, I know this is kind of a hard message, but it's honest, it's true, and it took me a while to get to this point where I'm realizing that, and I'm no expert at it, trust me. I still have times where I'm finding myself trying to be the peacemaker, trying to make sure everybody around me is okay. And after a while, it just depletes you, and it takes away your light. It muffles you. It takes away the brightness in your life. And it's time to change that. You know, it's just time to be in your best life. And so anyway, I hope this message helps in some way. And again, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and just remember, you matter, and your awakening, your expansion, your life is what you decide to make it. And you get to choose how important you are to your own growth. So that's it for today. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.